A few years ago, I received an email from an Italian guy who said he really wants to learn Daygame, but he said he first wants to build an online business so he could be nomadic and get Daygame coaching. And unlike most guys who send such emails, he actually did it. He didn't know anything about tech, but a few years later, he's running an online business, he's traveling around the world, got Daygame coaching a few weeks ago, and already got multiple lays. This is the story of how he did it. If you want to learn to go out with girls in their 20s, this podcast episode might teach you how to get there. If after listening to this you get inspired to get Daygame coaching, then you can find all the details about how coaching usually works, the approximate pricing, etc. by clicking the link in the description, both for in-person and online coaching. But if you are taking a lot of action, are getting some numbers and some dates, and want to understand how to improve your texting to convert more numbers to dates, or how to improve your dates to have more dates end in your apartment, then check out my free texting and dating guides on daygamecourses.com. And now let's jump into this interview, which, to preserve the privacy of my guest, will be audio only. Kosta, mi amigo, let's jump into this conversation. Maybe before we start talking about your wild adventures, a little teaser, fucking a girl in the ass and on the first day of coaching. Before we talk about all of those adventures, maybe tell guys a little bit about yourself so they have an idea about who you are.
Okay, so hi Rob, thank you so much for inviting me to this podcast. So I've been called Kosta. I'm an Italian guy. I am now on my early 40s. And just for people to understand, they don't see me, but I think I'm average looking. You saw me, so yeah, I'm like, nothing special. And about me, I was very introverted as I was a kid, and then I worked myself through my life, and I think I did a pretty good job. You also saw that, Rob. And my friends describe me as a fun guy with a deep side. And I've been now. The first part of my life, I was a musician. Then I tried to do the normal life with a girlfriend, a normal job, and a car, and a cat, and a motorbike, and everything. But I don't know, it was not for me. So I then changed again, and then I start traveling around the world, and I've been doing that for a few years now. And I lived in different countries, different cultures. I had dates with all different cultures, and I worked also in different fields, and lately I'm a digital nomad. So I built a remote business. We're gonna go over that a little bit later when I will talk about the story about the coaching. And in general, I love freedom. I love connection, and in general, I never followed like a 100% standard path. I like in general to laugh, have real conversation, and I like meeting women in a natural way, like creating a win-win situation where we can celebrate life by enjoying the present moment together. So if you have any question, Rob, feel free to ask me.
So beautiful. Did you tell approximately how old you are?
Yes, I'm early 40s, so yeah.
So you're an okay looking, like an average looking guy who, around a little older than me. We kind of look more or less the same age, average style, nothing really crazy, you're not like from a magazine cover. You are an outgoing guy, you're a chatty guy, so you have that, you're sort of like an extrovert, so that's really good for you. And then we're gonna talk a little bit later about what you do for a living, because we're gonna touch upon it on the topic of you being a digital nomad. So what's your Daygame history like? When did you start Daygaming?
Okay, so I started Daygame. I started game myself before I knew that Daygame exists. I used to enjoy approaching women, as I was a musician. So at the concerts and festival, and also in the clubs. I remember that I was enjoying, we go with a group of friends, and as soon as we go inside, I lose my friends and I go around alone hunting, with the eyes catching, chatting, flirting. So I was doing that. And also when I I moved countries, when I was just approaching randomly, like train station, during the streets, restaurants. So was kind of a game. I didn't know I was day gaming, but that's a story about that, and and then I read the mystery method, when I don't know, years ago, but it was just a read, and actually the first front stop I did, it was in Prague a few years ago. I did day game for 2 days. That's it. And then, that was good because it was the first day lay with a very, very nice 18 years old ballerina she was from Hungary. And that was, in the street, great conversation. We went to a bar, we had a drink, and then we pulled home. And I was renting this huge, it was like a yoga center, so I had all mirrors. She was a ballerina, so it was amazing. So that's why I thought, this game is interesting, and that's when I started to listen to some podcast and some stuff. I never practiced that. So um yeah, that's
So you did a bunch of different types of game before, and then you discovered Daygame a few years ago. Is that correct?
yes, exactly.
And then the game you used to do before, sort of like the night game-ish stuff, and kind of approaching girls in everyday life, these everyday situations. How old were you when you were doing that?
Oh well, I did from 16 until 24 or 25, something like that. Yeah.
So that's like a long time ago when you were like a young dude going out partying.
Yeah,
Uh,
guy.
so why did you stop doing it? Just because you got older, you got in a relationship? What happened?
Because I saw the people that were doing the same thing when they were older, and I didn't want to become like them. So I decided to shift life, and I stopped doing all this shit. I changed lifestyle basically. I become a serious guy. So yeah.
Serious guy working a real job,
Real
having
job,
a girlfriend.
girlfriend, working so much that I cannot put myself in dangerous situation, not exposing myself to, I just say, yeah, these kind of things. And in this time, I didn't do any approach, any nothing, but I don't know, I have it inside. So,
So when you were younger, you were going out, you were doing things, you were getting laid, but then you decided, okay, enough is enough. Let's take a break. Let's do other things in life.
yeah, yeah.
So how did you got back to day game now that you're older? What happened there?
Oh, because I did this first part of life that you said, and then I was like, this is not ideal. So I did the other one, the serious one, and then also after 5 years, 6 years of the serious one, I said, this is also not ideal. So I did a mix, and that's where I left my country. I started traveling around the world, and I was not partying like crazy anymore. But I was still doing kind of gaming, like think about I maybe go living in Asia where there is all these solo women traveler. I go to restaurant. That was my game, My game was to go to lunch alone. And there were so many solo female alone traveling, having lunch. And I just pick the one that I like. I feel the vibe. And I was doing as soon as she look at me, I indicate myself. I indicate the empty chair in front of her, like I'm moving there, If she say yes, I just take my plate, I sit there, and that's an instant date. But I didn't know I was gaming. I was just doing this, without structure, without anything. So yes, it's
And how did you go from there to starting day gaming again, or considering learning day game?
Oh, I don't know. I hear some maybe podcast or someone, and I started understand that there is someone that is doing this in a structured way. There is a word behind that, because when I read the mystery method, it was just a read, but I thought was more fantasize. I don't, and then I went into listens few podcasts, and I don't remember names, but all the most famous names, the coaches, that people that are coaching, are teaching, and I listen. Actually, I was using my car a lot, so when I was in the car, I was listening to podcast, and they say, in general, I love to learn new skills. I love to do things. And I find the most efficient way to level up in efficient way is get coaching. So I was listening to different podcasts, just listening podcasts, not practicing. And when driving, and I don't know, I resonated with your style. I resonated with you because you a difference to the others, you were more real, you can feel it. And your were teaching is not about notches, it's not about getting late, it's about becoming a better person, and it's about a win-win situation. Because there are other how to say style that maybe get you late but get you empty inside, or maybe she's gonna fall in love with you and then it's not gonna be good. But you were also between the connection, the masculine honesty, and also structure, and also natural. So I resonated with you, and I decided to have a coaching from you. Yeah.
And that was years ago, right?
Yeah, that was, I think, was 5 years ago, because I was like, yes, because when I do something, I want to do it 100%. So for me, there is not a point to get the coach and then go home and do nothing. I want to make the best of it. So I want to create the situation. And that was a problem, that at that time, I was so convinced to have coaching. But the problem was that I had to move to a place with a better locations. And so I needed not just be a nomad, but be a digital nomad. So I choose a place because I can go coaching there, because I can practice there, not because I can find a job there. So I made this decision, and so I had to build my online income to be able to have the money to get coaching, and also to move around wherever I want to meet other people and do the coaching. But I had no tech background at all. And that was no shortcuts. Honestly, it was brutal. I failed multiple times. I lost money. I lost time, but that was my goal, that I see that one day I'm gonna say, Rob, I get coach, I pay you straight away, and I move wherever we want to go. So I worked full days, 7 days on 7, every day on my business during the day and at night to pay the bills to build this. So no weekends, no safety net, no guarantees, nothing, shit. But I did it. And actually, Rob, you should have an email from me that I contact you. And I don't know if it was 5 years ago, if 4 years ago, whatever, where I write, I would love to have coaching with you, but at the moment I have no logistics, but I will find that and I will contact you again. And then I did it, and because I keep going. Each failure taught me something, I was learning something all the time. Each attempt gave me a new skill until I made it. And today, I run a successful business that supports my lifestyle. And with that freedom, I finally booked the coaching with you that I wanted, And so we met, we had coaching. And on day one, I made history with an amazing STL. In your...
Yeah, so let's talk about that, because that was hilarious. Because listen, guys, this is first day of coaching, second session of the day, and it's like towards the end of the second session. And if I remember correctly, you were doing a long set where it looked like it was clear that you should go for an instant date, I think, and I think I signaled that you should go for an instant date. You didn't understand the signal or something like that? What happened there?
So my goal in that moment was to learn the street. So you told me to go for an instant date, but I thought if I go to an instant date, it's gonna just, I'm gonna waste my time. So I prefer keep approaching. So I didn't do that. And then there were a second moment where I did this and I did a set and then I come back. It was almost end of the first session of a coaching ever with you. And so we had also a second moment where I did a set, and after the set, you told me that was an option, that was a good option for an instant date and probably a same day lay, but I was not interested in that. And then you said something like, that would be amazing to have a first day coaching day, same day lay. And that gave me the motivation. So
Yeah, because I told you I've never had a student who gets a same delay on first day of coaching. I've had, I think, multiple students who have had same delays on the second day of coaching, but never on the first one. And I think that was the thing that where you heard that and you were like, "Fuck you!" Like I'm gonna be the first one.
yeah, exactly. Because I didn't want to do instant day. I didn't want to have late, wherever. But when you say that, they'll say, "I gotta give you the first day late."
By the way, just so I don't forget,
Yeah.
this is a very common mistake for students when they arrive for coaching and then they don't go on Insta dates because they have to learn. That's the priority. And then they don't schedule dates or they don't worry about that too much. They're focused on learning instead of getting laid. But the best way to learn is to actually get laid. You get confidence from that. You learn about dates and especially if it's the second session of the day, guys should always go for dates if it's a perfect opportunity and try to get same day lays. It's more important than doing a few more approaches. It just gives so much. Anyways, let's get back to your story.
Yeah. So yeah, you give me the motivation, and I was like, but it was the end of the session already, But I say, okay, I'm gonna do it, and I start visualizing that because yes, in your podcast you don't talk about, you should think like, but I believe in the power of manifestation because I've been doing that. It's the same as Daygame, when I read that, I see, oh, I'm doing that, and it works. So I visualize my same day lay, and we were walking, we were going home, and this girl passed by. She gave me eye contact, and a little smile. And I said to you, that's mine. And you say, okay, you go, I go home, give you the mic. So I give you the mic, and I go, I went in, I front stop, and we click instantly, after chatting, like a little bit, like, or what you teach me, I just follow exactly what you were teaching me that day. And she said, I said, I felt that was the one. And she said, yeah, I need to buy some gift, some oil or something. And I realized, oh, fuck, my apartment is not ready. So I say, oh, okay, perfect. You go in this shop, you buy your shit, and in 30 minutes we meet here. So I ran home. I buy condom, I buy drinks, I put my apartment like in a normal state, and I go down and she's there waiting for me. And I was like, okay, this is nice. So we went straight to the venue that you tell me to go. You remember, Rob, you tell me just go there for the first venue. So we went.
Yeah. Saint Black, I think, is like a bar.
Yeah, exactly. That's the place.
Yeah.
Yes. She is beautiful. She is really beautiful. She actually is very famous in
the country.
Yes, exactly. And the energy was great. Great energy. It was playful, teasing, strong connection. It was fun, and that was kind of, I don't know, 1 hour over a drink. She didn't drink. I drink, maybe some, maybe a cocktail or something. And I said to her, now I'm going to pay and I'm going to take you to the toilet. That was full escalation, full on, and she said, oh, no. And I said, listen, now you tell me what you think about when I say I take you to the toilet. And then I will do that. And I will show you that is not what you're thinking. And you will be positively surprised. Because I just went to the toilet and I find out that before the toilet, there is a room with a piano, a sofa, mirrors. So, like venue too. So she described, oh, you're going to take me to a dirty place, smelly. You're going to try to hit on me. I say, yeah, I'm gonna try to hit very hard, but not in that kind of place. So I go, I pay, I take her downstairs. And, the place was amazing. And there, we play around, we laughed, we danced a little bit, we hugged, we teased. I did something that you told me to don't do, like over-escalate a little bit, but then that was, yes. Then eventually we walked out. And she said, I'm not going to come with you at home. And I said, look, can you see that church? We're going to get married there. So I take her hand and I start walking. And my house is near the church. So we arrived at the church. We arrived at my place. She don't want to come in, but I know I stay in the street with little bit playful teases. And then we go inside the apartment. Like, And then, elevator, chitty chatty, and then we go inside my apartment, and I have there is the kind of sunset, so I hug her from behind. I don't know. I have these things, everyone has his own power. And I know when I hug a girl from behind, I don't know if everyone, but they really love it. So it was very fast, I take her hands, I put the hands on the wall, and then, and then it was LA, that was the same day, LA, first coaching day, LA. It was amazing. That was actually a fucking nice lady. It was amazing, like fun. She was beautiful. Like I was like, okay. And I really don't like fake make, like a silicone stuff, makeup. She was like natural also. So it was my style. I was like, wow, this is a fucking great present. And so we fucking different position. And at some point I was fucking her in it. I can say that, right? In the podcast?
You can say that. Don't worry.
So I was fucking her in the ass, and after a while, and then while I was inside, she was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, but soon I have to go because my partner is waiting for me we have to cook a cake." And I was like, "What?" I stopped, and I was look at her. You have a fucking partner. You didn't tell me. And she was like, and so I fuck her even more, even harder. I like that. She liked that. And then I was, then again, blah, 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 blah. And then she asked me where I want to come. And I think, okay, let's do it in your mouth, So she gave me a blowjob, and that was another very nice one. And I know it felt like you paid her, for making this, because you did like it was amazing. So I come in her mouth, and I remember that was also nice that when I come, she ran into the sink to spit it. And she's a ballerina, so she did it in a very, like I was looking this beautiful thing, it was really amazing. And then, now I remember two things about this story. So, okay. So then we talk a little bit, and slowly we drink some water. We dress up, and we talk a little bit more. And then we go to go out. And you remember, Rob, I told you before the coaching, I told you, lately, I already have many lays. I'm not into lays anymore because I don't know, maybe getting old, whatever. And actually, when we go out, I realized that I still have erection. So erection didn't go down. Even after coming and talking and being in the kitchen and walking outside, I still have erection, So it was like really, really super powerful. So we go down. I go on the street, I walk a little bit with her, I say goodbye, and then I go home, very happy. I open the door, and I look in on my floor. She lost the key for her house, and she was going to make a fucking cake with the partner. So I find my phone, I send a message to her, and with the key, and she sent me back, okay, bring the key, please. So yes, I go down to bring the key. And while I go down, she sent me another message. Oh, like it was written very fast with a lot of mistakes. And basically she was saying, I was walking, my partner was in the car, saw me, and she offered me a lift. So just pretend you are my friend and just give me the key like we are friends. And I was like, fuck. Okay. So I went to the street. I was walking. She arrived. He was driving. She was on the side. I give the key. and I hope he didn't kiss her, but because wow. But she was amazing. She was very happy. She did really need that, So then I went home, and she wants to see again. So yeah, that's the first the first lay of the wiki coach.
Yeah, that's how the first that's the first day of coaching.
Yeah, the first day of coaching, guys. So if you
comes from a guy who,
that's how it works.
I remember because you prepared for coaching for a month. You were in Zagreb, and then you got a lay while preparing for coaching, but the chick was like 50 something, right?
Wait,
Or you didn't get a lay? I think you did.
Oh, with that one, yes, I did the
Yeah, yeah. Now you're like, you go from that to this.
yes, yes.
And just one thing that you missed for that I wanna explain. There was a lot of resistance when you were trying to pull her to your place. She wasn't really coming. Yeah.
No, no. She was not coming, but she wanted. It's not like, but actually all the pool home that I did in Riga, it was hard to get home because it's too early. I don't know you, whatever. So I didn't do that story, I didn't do the part of the story. I just say the church thing, but it was a lot of work to go home. Yeah. It was
Yeah.
yeah.
That can happen when because you over escalated a little bit near the bathroom. You said you checked out, you kind of pulled her shirt to check out her tits. I think there was a part of that, and so there was a lot of like heavy escalation where there's no plausible deniability when you go back to your place. So that was crazy. But overall, what did you expect to get out of coaching? Not what did you want to get out of coaching in your dreams, but what were your realistic expectations from coaching?
So, I had many lays in my life. I had all this sexual story that I was dreaming when I was 15. I did it. So it's not that I need more lays. I want to have, more clarity about how seduction works, because actually what Daygame and the structure and all these things is not something that was created to convince women to have sex. It was just observing the successful guys, what are they doing, and then put it into the structure. So I was doing something right already if I had all this abundance in my life, but I didn't know what I was doing. So I know I had some good vibes, some experience, but I wanted to understand the structure, what I was doing good, what I was doing wrong, because I could watch videos, I could read books, I could, but from coaching, I wanted a real-time feedback. I wanted someone like you in this case. I wanted Rob to look at me. What am I doing? And tell me. So so what did I want from coaching is to have you, Rob, that you were the coach between all of them. I think are the best to see me, to observe me, and to give me a real feedback. So I expected also to improve fast, but I was surprised about how much fun we had, like in the street. I really enjoyed. So yeah, I was expecting to learn something, but I had more. Yeah. If you have any questions that you would like to.
Very nice. Yeah, I remember you telling that the one thing you haven't had in a while is you haven't banged like a chick in her early 20s for a while. That was something you wanted to do because yeah.
Yes, it's not that I didn't, because actually last year I had one of my regulars. She's 19, so I had, but not many. It was one. It was not many. But yes, that's the thing, because the thing is that in my life I never experienced to be plus 40 and hit on 18s in the street.
Yeah.
I never did. Yeah.
So let's look at how you did kind of during coaching, because you went through several phases. So how do you think? What was the kind of if you look at how you progressed through the coaching? What would you say was the progression like, and what were the steps you had to go through, or kind of the things you had to learn, or?
Let's say, in general, I have a natural vibe. I'm playful, I flow with the moments, but sometimes, many times, all the time, I forget the structure. So at the beginning, it was, it was a little bit, not easy when I was in set to understand what am I doing, what I supposed to do, But then that was the first part. When you tell me you should do this, and I was like, okay, that was not easy for me to not be natural, but do something different, and that was the first part. And then the second part is that I understand what I should do, and I was applying maybe too hard. So I became more robotic, so less vibes. So the challenge, it was to find that sweet spot where I stay myself, but I also follow the steps. And did I say what you asked me?
Yeah, so yeah, that was pretty much kind of the journey, kind of going from very vibe-oriented game, because on day one it was you were all over the place, you were running good conversations.
Yeah.
But if I remember correctly, most of the numbers you got on the first day, they flaked, correct?
Uh, see, I honestly now I don't remember.
Because I think that was kind of the thing. You got plenty of numbers on day one, but they were very, very flaky. And that's the thing with vibe-oriented game. You can have great chats, the girls love it, you love it, but you never really connect with them. It's just attraction. And you never get to know each other, and then you get the numbers, but they flake. And that was sort of the beginning. But then you understood, okay, now I have to do this. I have to learn to ground. I have to get to know them. I have to make sure we know each other. When she goes home and she knows, okay, this is this guy, and he's from this city, and this is what he does, and this is why he's here, and then. But then, yeah, you said it correctly. When you started doing that, you became sort of way too robotic. The vibe went to shit. So a big part of our job was to find a nice balance between good vibe and also making sure you're doing the right things in the set. Do you remember the questions I told you to ask after each set, where we simplified all structure down to, I think, 3 questions?
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, at the beginning, I remember especially one set that I did, and I was like, "Oh, this set was amazing!" And I went back to you, and I was like, "Oh, look!" And you told me that was shit, and I was like, "No," because yeah, that's true. I was just on the vibe, I didn't know what I was doing, and then and that's the thing. Everything that you told me is something that I already see in your material, but I could not apply. Or I think I was applying, but I was not doing that. So you then grounded out to more specific things, like from the opener, like pre-opener, to the opener, to the stacking, to the ground. So many things. I remember everything. And actually the very good things with coaching is that when I'm out now, you are still with me. I know when I'm in the set, I know that you are what you're telling me, and I have that question right down. So every time now I do a set, after that, I'm like, I still have your questions, and I answer to you. I pretend I'm sending a vocal message, and I just talk, and I analyze every single set. And also, I don't know if you want, I can tell you the questions. If not,
yeah, tell the questions so that guys can use those questions as well.
Okay, so starting from the beginning, so when I see a girl, and I want to go over that later a little bit. When I see a girl, the first thing I need to have conviction, not just the fly, but conviction. Then I go there, I smile, I connect with the eyes straight away, and I signal stop with my hands. I do a proper front stop, because I was cutting a lot, I was cutting them and starting them. So I do a proper stop, and then stacking, like one opener. Sometimes I was doing 2 pre-opener, and you tell me, just do 1, then stack. Very clear stack, give an option A or B, so she can give me the topic. When she gives me the topic, I run with the story. Instead of the story, I talk about her, I put some DHV, and then I tease, and I make her, feel grounded. So, and then I was already kind of doing quite good there. But then, that's when we do the grounding. So you were always, I was out of the set, and I was like, "Oh, that was amazing." And you were like, "Okay, so what do you know about her? What do you know about her? She works, what kind of work? Well, she studied, what does she study? Where she was grown up, where is she doing? What she goes on a travel? What she knows about you? Does she knows about?" And many times, especially at the beginning, I was like, "Oh, I don't know nothing." We talked 10 minutes. It was amazing. We enjoyed, but it was not, real grounding. So did I answer the questions?
Yeah. So and just to I'm gonna summarize this down to the three questions I always made you ask yourself after each set. So the first question was there enough attraction?
Yeah, true. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
The second question
Yeah.
was, what do you know about her?
Yeah.
Yeah, I told you you need to know around three things about her. For example, what does she do? Where is she from? What is she up to? Whatever, and just chat about these things. And the third question was, what does she know about you?
Yeah.
To make sure she kind of feels like she knows you, like she knows a few things about you. And we summarized all the structure down to these simple three questions. And you would ask them after the sets, and then make sure that, okay, now we know each other, like, and there was enough traction. That was really cool. And then you had some more dates scheduled. So during coaching, what else happened? Because you had some more dates and you had some other adventures. Let's go over those.
Okay, let's quickly. So, during the weekly coach, I had this same delay with this one, and then I had another one that I had. In total is three lays from two girls. The one is the same delay. Then there is the other girl that we had a first date. I did only one venue. Then I very hard to pull on, but at home she was super rigid. She was not super confident because actually she's not been having sex for a long time, whatever. And I managed to have a kiss after the date. So when I was bringing her down on the lift, I managed to have a stamp kiss, and then after the lift, a normal kiss, and on the goodbye, a makeout. And then you told me you have to, go slower. And so with second date, I had a park date. We walk around the city, we enjoy the atmosphere, and we enjoy the city on Sunday, then and then we go home. And that was LA. So this was the second day delay with her. Then I had other two girls where I pull home. I managed to have a kiss, but they also need more time. But then I left, then I left because so in total it's like, the same delay. The second girl I had 2 times late because she came to my place 2 times. And then I had two more girls. We had a kiss close at my place. And then I had 5 more strong numbers, very high potential, because I sense it, it's like, I'm doing the game for since just not long, but I have experience from before. You can sense where is the potential from delay. So I had 5, like many numbers, but 5 was a really good one. But I had to leave the city, and many of them also they were going on holiday, so I could not close that. Yeah, that was the numbers from.
Yeah, and so now it's been a few weeks.
Yes.
It's been a few weeks since we spent some time together.
Yeah.
And how have you been doing since then? Because you went to another city, you've done a bit of Daygame there, and what results are you getting there?
Okay, so after the coaching, I went on holiday, so I didn't do nothing for a week or maybe 10 days. And then I moved now. I am at the moment in Warsaw, where is, the more, how do they call it? The Daygame over, the over gamed city in Europe.
Yeah.
And so I'm here. I'm here already for 5-6 days. And so I had 2 first date, like same, like instant date. And that was one ended with a kiss, and the other one, she is young, she is single for a long time, so she want to take it slow, but she want to see me again. This is 2. And then I had a first date yesterday with a very, very nice one. That was amazing. That was was really, really good day yesterday, because we met at the park. We stay at the park. We play around, and then from the park we moved to the bar. And between the park and the bar, we did some adventure. We went inside an hotel. We go in the lift, and then we go in another place. Then we go in this venue, just a random bar, and in the bar they were doing speed dates. So I was joking around I was messing with the people doing speed dates, and she was, we were like social free. We were like doing whatever we want to do. We enjoy. And then we went to my place. And again, oh, I didn't expect to go to your place. Oh, just, like I just need to go up because I have to take my jacket because it's cold, whatever. We went up, but she was very happy we went up. So I got a lay, very nice lay that was also satisfying, very happy, very good. Then she slept over. So this morning we had another lay together. Then we go out to the park. And yeah, that's my arrive in
Very nice. So
Warsaw.
it sounds like you're doing good in Warsaw as well. Is she Polish or is she from somewhere else?
Yeah, she's local.
Okay, very nice.
Actually,
So
it's good. It's good here because I had a lot of blowouts. Yes, sure. When you have a blowout, just laugh and it's good. And but I have this one. This she can be a regular now. It's really good. It's not easy to find someone that looks really good. You have connection. You enjoy to spend time together, and you have also amazing sex. So it's high potential for a regular. But I have already. I have 3 more very strong numbers that I'm gonna meet this week for dates. Yeah.
very nice. So overall, because you did some preparation for coaching, then we spent a week together. Now you're in Warsaw. What would you say are the biggest lessons, the biggest things you learned during coaching?
Oh, so first that structure and what you teach, it works. It's not theory, it's real. If you follow the steps with presence, it creates magic. And this is the most important takeaway. The second one is that you are never too old. I'm in my 40s now and I'm pulling from 18 to 50. And I remember when I was 18, the oldest one, I was one of my regular, I was 18, she was 52. So basically if you guys are still 18 until you will be, I don't know, 50, you can fuck everyone basically.
Listen, so you had this dream to travel the world and become a nomad and day game in all these places.
Yeah.
Now that you've learned day game, now that you had a few lays in the city where we had coaching. So what's your plan? And you had some adventures already in Warsaw. What's your plan next? Like, where do you want to go next? Are there any places you're kind of curious about to explore or?
Okay, so I will stay in Europe for the summer and I plan to go somewhere warm from the winter. So maybe Latin America, Southeast Asia, or other places. I didn't plan yet. But I definitely will keep working and gaming also. And also I'm open to connect with other guys like me, like people that's serious about growth, but in a respectful way for girls, and they also fun people with good vibes. And yeah, so I'm open to to connect. And yes, if someone wants to connect, we can connect. And as soon as we are in the same mindset. Yeah.
Yeah, so we can add your details in the description of this podcast. What do you want to share?
Oh, I can share my Telegram or my email is also good. So
Okay, so
yeah, I can
we
say
will
it.
put in the description either your Telegram or your email address if anyone wants to reach out. And then, as I told you, after coaching, you have a lot of potential. So once you get to a certain level, there's definitely a point in sharing what you've learned. And we have ways to do that actually in our group chat and places like that. We're doing content with some advanced guys. So just get to that level and we'll see what we can do with you. Anything else you want to share or let's wrap up?
Oh, if you want, I can share one thing that I think is very important because usually it's like the game is seen as something, I don't know if like against society rules, but I believe Daygame is the most natural thing in the world, like stay in a phone and swiping right and left at photos that is not real. You don't even know who's the person. It's totally unnatural, so Daygame feels like something actually primal to me, like hunting, when I was young, I used to watch, documentaries like Discovery Channel where, with wild animals, and you see a lion or a panther or a tiger, moving slowly through the grass and focus, silent, and choose what she likes or he likes. And then there is a spark of adrenaline in the moment before the chase, and then there's the chase. And then that's how you feel when you Daygame, you see a beautiful girl, or for any reason you're inspired from her, and there is tension, there is awareness, there is presence. And the only difference is that, in the wild animals, the prey does not want to be the prey, but with the gazelle does not want to get caught by a predator. But in the street, all these women, they want to be seduced, they put a lot of effort into looking amazing. They invest huge amount of time, hard money to buy clothes, to do fitness, hairdresser, esthetician, so on, to look nice. The more beautiful, actually, the other thing is that the more beautiful she is, intimidating to you, the more insecure, because there is always someone on her Instagram that is younger and hotter than her, and she knows that. So she wants to be seen. And here we come. We gift them with that moment. Surprise, tension, spark, compliment, comfort, so it's a win-win situation. So that's what I learned also from Daygame, and I want to share it, and I don't know if you guys are listening and you are thinking about starting or getting coaching, whatever. Do not waste years or thinking about it. Just take action today, right? When you listen to this podcast, go out, try it now. If it works, it works. If it don't work, get coaching, it will work.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, Kosta, thank you very much for doing this. To anyone listening, details, if you want to get in touch with Kosta, are in the description of this podcast episode. Thank you, dude.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you so much. Thank you.
That's it, guys. Thank you for listening. If this inspired you and you want to understand whether I could help you improve your Daygame as well, then you can find all the information about how coaching usually works, the approximate pricing, etc. by clicking the link in the description. That's it for this time. See you in the next podcast episode. Ciao, guys.